All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming and listening to the Internet of Value Foundation, New York, episode 184. For all of those who get to come and join us and listen to this information at a further point in time, I hope you guys find it as valuable as I know I do every single time I get to host this space and have the diverse amount of mindsets and perspectives that come and join us and share their information and perspectives. Welcome Vet and Shellfish also, guys, to the space so quick and joining. Hopefully we get some people in here quick. Gonna have a 45 to 50 or so minute discussion today here, and we'll roll over into another space where I'm also excited to talk about the information that we will be speaking about in there, and somewhat aligned with my thought on where the directive of the narrative of this conversation will end as well, with some things that I'll say, uh, speaking about privacy and different things of proofing credentials kind of natures that I think, from a global perspective we'll see hopefully long term. But yeah, the technological revolution's retrocausal being. What is it to be retrocausal in nature? The meaning, by definition, speaking about a reference to what would be a future that is a past, outlining time not as we see it being linear. my I love that word for some reason. My mind never likes to say it right, but um, with it possibly not necessarily being in a continuum trajectory of evolving nature, but providing um, a multitude of interactional possibilities of what we would think as that particular place alongside that future continuum spot. And I think when we think about today and the times that we're in, and the status quo of the societal means of interactions and um, societally where we are at from the point of view of being able to work with each other, things are rough, right? Society is at a breaking point from Western uh, civilization perspective. And there are definitely many perspectives that are involved in this. Nonetheless, technological advancements are ushering in new possibilities. And with these new possibilities, there will be advents of different philosophical means of being able to comprehend their usefulness in different situations. And I think through that prosperousness of the means of these technological advancements being able to take place, the retrocausal nature in the means of where we're going will begin to be a parent of the apparatus. And sorry about that, I was receiving a call there. And I think that is just, it's a parent of the times that we're in and the distress that I think, we as a people, from a global perspective, are seeing occur if you look from the macro perspective observation. And I think that give me 1 second, sorry.
I'm just farming, by the way.
Welcome up, Vet. Yeah, give me 1 sec, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm just farming.
Oh, what's going on? It shows you as a listener.
Oh no, I'm on stage, Devon. How you doing, Devon?
I'm all right.
What up?
I'm doing well.
That's great. You also just farming like me?
No, I was coming to cause conflict.
Oh, that's good.
Give him some friction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. You're able to hear me?
Yes.
Train of thoughts, you know? One minute you're on the track, the next minute something rails you off. What did I miss? Introductions? Vet, Devon, welcome up. Cookie, welcome up.
Oh, should I give an intro? Yeah, I'm Vet. I'm chilling. I've been
That
in the
was deep.
community for a bit.
I'm
That was
Devon.
deep, Vet.
I come to play the devil's advocate to everything that the host does.
Yeah, but where are you coming from? How long have you been in the community? Come on.
I am coming from Chicagoland area. I've been in the community for quite some time now. Some might consider me an OG. Yeah, it's been an amazing time here. I host amazing spaces where I give educational content once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thank you for inviting me up.
Wait, hold on, Devon. You host spaces?
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, I host spaces once a week.
Once
I
a
provide
week?
educational
Where?
content. Yes.
Where?
On a platform formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, but why are you not echoing this? Like, I
What
want to
account are you
join that
doing it
space.
from?
Yeah, I want to join that space.
Well, you should set notifications for my profile. It's a function that's on this app, and you will see that I do it once a week, where we provide educational content across different blockchain technologies and help people integrate, self-custody, things of that nature. I think you would find it pretty interesting.
100%. Quite passive aggressive tone, but yeah, I would join it.
Super aggressive.
Not gonna lie, I felt a little hostility there too, Devon. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to note that. No, but 100%, I would definitely join it. Like I was. Oh yeah, sure. You co-host a lot of spaces, and you are with us talking a lot. But it didn't. I don't know.
Devongianya? I've never heard of him.
Why do you have a mustache?
Who, me?
That is my. I was incognito.
I was asking the woman here.
It was incognito. Did you see the Theo baby interview with Oh God. Anyway, I posted it on my timeline, and it was talking about how in the Wild West you could literally commit murder, go shave your mustache off, and then the wanted poster, they'd be like, "Where do you go?" So I'm like, well, crypto's kind of like the Wild West, so let me just put a mustache on because I could go incognito, nobody would know it's shellfish.
Wait, Shell, is it real with Coinbase that they put up as a banner the head of Brian Armstrong?
I mean, it is Brian Armstrong, but I don't know if they officially did that. Wolf had posted that picture from Wolf Crypto,
Wait, let me.
and it was hysterical. They were
Yeah,
trying to.
it is.
Yeah.
It is actually. What the heck? But I like that. I mean, they have 6 million followers. They don't take themselves too seriously. It's okay. I like that. They have really the bald head.
I'm gonna send you the baby Theo one about the Wild West, and that way you can watch it. It's so
Imagine an
hysterical.
intern got fired before he left. He just put that as the banner.
By the way, Death Ranger, you have a crazy anonymous listener ratio. Like I think you have 20. Like yeah, 1/3 is anonymous. This is really very high. Actually, typically it's like maybe I think 20%, 10%.
I don't
Oh,
shake him, Vet. I mean, we're talking about the esoteric ontology, about the technological revolution and its possible retrocausal nature and the means of technological knowledge. And
Unconventional data points. give me my fix.
I turned in to like get the creatine and advice and like some weightlifting, like chicken eating talk.
You eating some chicken?
Wait, yeah, you want chicken?
I want to hear about like the protein and like the weightlifting and stuff like that. So that's why I'm here.
Do you know that meme is like if you take 1 grams of creatine, you can do this. 3 grams of creatine, this, and at 50 grams, you like what was it? You see into the future.
I have not seen that one yet.
Yeah, because people like overhyping like really the effects of it. Yeah. But I believe if you are vegetarian or vegan, it's very good to supplement that because it's typically, I believe, in meat, right? So
Well, instead of
supplementing
eating the
this.
chicken, like you bring it with you to the gym and work out with it.
The chicken?
Yeah.
You bring the chicken with you, is what you're saying.
Oh, geez, that sounds really like Devon.
I have a quote for you guys that I thought was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
And
bring us back on track.
I was actually going to post it to Engagement Farm, but I think it's better to say it out loud. The quote is, corruption is not bad. It is only bad if I'm not a part of it.
Wait. I know where you have that from.
He said, and then he said, if I'm a part of that corruption, I will defend it. I could not believe what I was hearing. It was the most amazing thing.
I think it's called African Core meme.
My God, it was too funny, man. But it really represented the state of society very well.
Not involved. Well, you know, it reminds me of this other quote, right? Like,
corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. That
If
government
I'm part of that
official.
corruption, I'll defend it.
It's so good. It's like corruption is not bad, you know. But if I'm not involved, you know, then if I'm involved, then I'm going to defend it.
So it's only illegal if you get caught, basically.
It's only legal if he's not part of it.
The true gang leader.
But the funniness about it is how bold he was to say it. But if you look at society right now, people are taking positions that are truly against what they would have said only a month ago because of the dynamics of identity, right? I identify with something, so I have to defend it no matter the morale, my moral compass surrounding the situation. And I find it to be very amazing to see in real time. And how do you get people to stand back on right is right and wrong is wrong, no matter what I affiliate with? That is what I'm trying to figure out. How that phenomenon changed and how we get back on course.
Marketing.
Did you say marketing?
I mean, if a shot got us here, maybe a shot can get us out.
Am I lagging?
No, you're there, Devon.
I just thought it was hilarious, though. Probably the best quote of the day I've heard thus far.
Corruption is not bad. Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
So
That is just,
you know what's funny, Devon, is I was actually watching that today. You know, like it was like suggested to me. So when you just started the phrase, immediately I remembered. I know that meme like years ago, but it's funny that we both probably watched that same thing today and got suggested that one. It's hilarious.
Yes,
That is
and
the greatest meme ever.
This is to my point. Marketing. What are the odds, right? Of course, there's a decently sized odds. We are in the same community that communicates with each other, same information being shared, to some degree, a echo chamber, if you will, echo chamber, if you will. And as we break out, we breach these communities, and we actually go and become a communal community as far as X goes, between all of the different types of uh, means, whether it's AI or it's DLT or it's nuclear or it's space travel. We together, cumulatively, become what is the Internet of Bodies, and that Internet of Things is the things that we're all speaking about in different ways, coming together, and of course making possible. But yes, marketing, Devon.
They,
Did we lose you
what
there,
is it?
Devon?
Can you not hear me?
No.
Can you not hear
No,
me?
you're back.
I wonder why they suggested that to me and Vet. What is it about our or suggested to
Man,
us?
the cliffhanger Devon.
So if I had to guess, from a common sense perspective, the video is hilarious. The means of just how you brought it up, right, Devon? How it truly represents today's societal means, as in people are willing to essentially be part of the thing that they know is doing harm, but if they think it benefits them, they'll defend it until the end of, they'll die on that hill.
What are you thinking, Cookie?
I heard you came up for the farm, and I thought I'd follow suit, mate, given I'm rocking a farm animal.
Oh yeah, we just said we're just farming here.
This is like a highbrow farm, though. I do relate to the comment you were talking about earlier about the 13 other listeners. I just think that they're all the degens in the room that just they can't be seen in a highbrow space like this, so they have to go incognito.
It's funny because the opposite is also true. When they host spaces, we go incognito.
Absolutely, and the audio meme you were playing as well. If that doesn't sum up the entire meme space in one quote, I don't know what does.
Yes, like a rug pull is not bad. It's only bad if I'm a partner.
So you know we're close to a cycle top. I got rug pulled on an NFT project on Hedera yesterday, and I don't know. The part of me was a little bit kicked in the teeth from it, but then there was nostalgia vibes there for just a straight up high quality NFT rug.
Wait, you got rugged or what? You had the experience?
Yeah, there's a project called Bad Birds that launched. Had good following, good community, all the hallmarks of a traditional old school rug. And yeah, 3 days in, rugged the project, ran off with the funds.
Oh damn! How much did they collect?
I think their volume on Centex is about 160,000 H bar. So, like, not
Okay.
fortunes, but like the kid that, again, talking of memes, it was almost like that kid from that stream where he said cheers for the 20 bandos and ran off. It was pretty much, I think they rugged for about 20, 30 grand, and they had a community. Again, like the short sightedness of Web3 is always amuses me. People will run for a couple of grand when they could build something and have a lot more value.
So true.
Still, we'll outlast them eventually. I'm surprised you didn't know that Devon hosts spaces, mate.
Hey, I mean, I was embarrassed to admit that. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing it all the time." I was like, "Hey, I never like where." Like people typically share these, and sometimes they join spaces. Then you see them as well, right? Let's say Shellfish joins a space or so, right? Then I see that maybe on my top, and it's there's a space. I have to admit, I have not seen a Devon space pop up on my screen, so it's super weird, embarrassing, I have to say, for my part.
Just on
They're pretty
Saturday,
good
I was
value.
hosting this space, and you were in it.
I was in it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, Devon has been hosting spaces,
crazy.
but having a specifically scheduled one in the middle of the week for educational purposes, are you doing that on your Devon account, Devon?
Oh no, I don't do it on a specific.
Ah, yes.
No, I was just messing
That's
with you on that part.
Then
Devon.
I totally gave your profile a mustache too. You could have gone on incognito. Just saying.
Well, we just found out that he's not even hosting from his account. Like, it's like from
Yeah, I know. It's
some
just killing
account.
me.
Like,
No,
yeah.
I host from my account. It's just not dedicated strictly towards what I was saying. I was mostly just messing with you guys. But yeah, no, I do. I have been back to hosting spaces because
Okay,
it's been
cool.
the last few weeks, and I don't want to get lost within the negativity aspect of what this app can offer.
Oh no, very good. So you're back on hosting track. As you said, it's very amazing. When is the next one?
Uh, the next space that I actually, while I have you here, I would like to actually talk about NFT projects. Obviously, I have my own, but I would like to highlight other people who are building in the NFT space
Yeah,
and
should we
see if
do an NFT space?
yes, I would like to do that.
Yeah,
And
let's
I'm
do
glad
that.
that we have Cookie here because I reached out to some people from the farm team, and I reached out to Niall because I know he has some advancements with things going on too. So yeah, I would like to host one.
So when are you thinking of? Like, is it weekends typically?
I
End
would
of the
like to do
week?
it every Monday.
Every Monday. Today is Monday. You know that.
Yeah, it was hard to get people to agree. Everybody said that they were busy, so I want to give people a
So
time enough time in advance to where they can't say no.
so do we have to wait now for next Monday, or would you be willing to host it this week at some other day?
Just hijack our space, Devon. We've got a slot between 5 and 7 every day. Our time, so that's what 12. You can just hijack the farm space, mate. You'll have a ready-made audience.
You need to change the title, like make it like Devon Hour or so.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
Devon Hour.
because I need to. I need to query you at some stage, Vet, around that because we're doing we want to do a hybrid mint where we have dynamic and static NFTs within the same collection, just to really hurt Adam's head.
That's something probably Jeff is going to do. I'm going to because I will give him that tool probably today, later, but it's for airdropping NFTs. And he needed something, and I said, okay, I will do it for you. And because I'm doing it anyway, I'm probably going to publish that also for anyone who wants to use it. And he has already existing NFTs. They called the how is it? The blunts, and he wants to airdrop another one within the same collection, so same taxon and so on, but make them dynamic. So you will have in the same collection essentially dynamic and non-dynamic, which is also an interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way,
That's what we
it's
want.
really cool because I've seen, I think I've seen Dirk having these boxes, so people using like the dynamic NFT amendment. It's really cool because in the beginning when it was launched, not many people did anything, but now I see more and more people are actually interested in using it. It's cool.
Tippy's got his. He's launched his, hasn't he? And that looks kind of cool. He's put some thought into that, and the site looks really nice as well.
Yeah. It's really amazing. I mean, these are the original ones, like the diagonals. He wanted to launch them, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, before even NFTs came up. But it was always like busy, and had a shit ton of to do with cafe and all of this stuff and companies, and so he never was able to go back into being artist because he is an original artist, career artist. So and yeah, now he launched them. That's actually a really big thing. These were still basically put on hold before even NFTs were on the XRP ledger. Yeah.
Death. I feel like we've completely hijacked your space. We only came up to farm, and we've definitely pivoted your conversation away from the subject.
Yeah, but it's a little bit retro casual. There you go.
It is retro casual, talking about old school.
Oh, now that you just said retro casual, you made me realize actually I spelt it wrong. So let me go change that for a second there. But no, it's I had a collaboration of great minds come together and agree upon meeting grounds to do potential things. I'm very happy situations occur that this is it's part of the retrocausal nature of reality. Yeah, let me go fix that real quick.
Dear friends, I heard you say before I got up here, time isn't linear. Is that fair? Did you say that? Can you hear me?
Give me 1 second, Devon. But yeah, yes, I did. I didn't
Okay, you
say
good?
it. I didn't say it is as in absolute or definite.
Right.
Sorry. Go ahead, Selfish.
No, no, it was off subject.
Go ahead, Devon.
No, I'm waiting on you to respond. You said it isn't linear.
Well, I didn't say it is or it isn't, but I was suggesting perspective suggests that time would not be linear. Yeah.
Say that again.
So if there is a retrocausal aspect to nature, then that in that dynamic itself is a suggestion that time itself is not linear. And the reason for that is if if what is occurring has a retrocausal potential, then the future is but the past.
How is there a future if I haven't made a decision to act upon something yet? Do I have free will?
Well, therein lies some of that potential question that, of course, depends on what you exactly define in your own potential, if your own personal perspective of what, free will is for you. Choice itself are all
I have.
choices made to some potential aspect. Is it just macro perspective that the larger grasp of choices need to be mounted? Does marketing in itself have a potential potency of an effect in which creates what would be a self-fulfilling prophecy? Does the belief in information and having just even the wordology to use to describe that information perpetuate an effect over the belief of that possible information? I mean, all of those things are, somewhat relative to that aspect. But in a time of this point we are at societally, of course, speaking more so Western specific, that we are seeing a large means of collapsings of the means of communication behind what is being defined as sides. And when communication stops, right, and sides start to get picked, if you will, from the observational perspective of the macro, right? Um, these are some rough perspective times. Of course, we have if we're looking at it relative to at least my lifetime growing up and the ventures that I've been able to see and observe from my own perspective. And so in that, I think it's interesting to think about the potency of the things that happening not only for what would be a reason very specific, but because of the nature of the retrocausal fractal possibility in which the future is but the past, not necessarily having to reoccur in any sort of, if you would, exact anomaly, but with a very similar rhyme and some meaningfulness behind the vibration of the way that frequencies interact. And if that's possible, Devon, then the question is, can these vibrations be deduced? Can they be mathematically generated into plausible means of comprehension for something of what would be a Homo sapien. And if that is true, then what possible technological advancements could come from such knowledge? You know, I think things like the possibility of having a future in where our species could interact globally and digitally be anonymous, yet fully represented as a proof that you are who you are. I think when I think about the different means of technological global advancements that could come from the things that are being developed today and the means societally pressured possibilities, you know, I think we're already seeing a lot of these things unfold, Devon. And you know, I think the biggest thing in the message is keep onward, keep forward, you know, keep your head up and just do what we can do.
Devon said about do I still have free will, and it made a really random quote jump into my head, and I'm going to quote pop culture because it's not attributable to anyone but someone in a TV show, and it's from Blue Bloods. And Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods says to someone that has tried everything they can to get an outcome and didn't get what they want, and he says that effort does not determine outcome. And that just really, really sat with me, in that you can have free will and you can do many, many things, but ultimately you have no control over everything else that's around you. And it, yeah, just super, super sat with me and felt it was relevant.
And even look at it from even a more macro perspective than ourselves, right, Cookie? To the ant that has the circle drawn around it and runs around that circle, never knowing there's anything past the bounds of the circle that it thinks is the end. Uh, if the same material construct is but apparent in our apparatus of what we think to be our societal, you know, means of reality, who's to say we're any different? What do you think, Devon?
Um, you didn't answer the question.
What was the question, Devon?
Do I have free will?
Are you asking my opinion?
Yes.
Yes and no.
Can you explain
I
the
can
no?
explain. Yes, I can explain the. Can I explain the no? Yeah, sure. Either or side, whichever you want. Um, so the yes and the no. The no being the means of thinking that you have control outside of the means of your what you perceive to be observably in your control, and that being far less than we think that we do most of the time. And then the yes being the fact that I think you are me and I am you, just existing at a different point in what we think to be space measured by time. And this, in fact, is but a measure of difference based off of the divinity in which is the primordial excurd, and which is, of course, you know, the frequencies of the sacred geometrical representations and makes that manifold of what our platonic space of reality unfolds itself into. And of course, that all being something, you know, woo woo in some sense for many. But nonetheless, you having the control over the fact and the aspect that all of reality is the way it is because of you have chosen it to be this way. You being that divineness, Devon, that is behind Devon, if you will. And of course, divine, I'm just using to as a word to describe something immaculately powerful behind means of being able to comprehend something as our observable perspective as a Homo sapien. And so the yes is the fact that you've chosen everything that will ever occur. The no is the fact that you think that you can do more than you can do.
Yes is the fact that I've chosen everything that I'm going to do, and the no is the fact that I have chosen more than I think that I can do. Okay,
Man, y'all complicate it. It's
I
like
will get.
it's like a parent, Devon. Like I give you two options. You get chicken or steak for dinner. Those are your options. That's free will, right? Those are your two choices, right? But I gave you those choices. So was it really free will? I gave you those options.
I think the only two choices in life are life and death. However, I do understand exactly what you mean by that. But free will is me being able to choose whatever I truly want to do without anybody intervening on it.
Yeah, and
Just
I
a
mean, listen, you can,
personal
and like
exception. But
you
before
can
I go that off the rails, I do have to comment to what you just said, Death Ranger. If I am you and you are me, how are my decisions weighted on a universal level?
all are equal.
No, no,
Every
no, 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 no,
action,
no.
every
If you do something
perspective.
immoral and I am you and you are me, how is your decisions weighed upon myself?
Or who decides if it's immoral or not?
If the only true decisions in life are about life and death, anything that goes against life would be immoral because that's the only thing that is really important to the existence of life.
Well, it depends. Your life, my life, other life. What life?
Life, life in and of itself.
Well, what
The
about
main
sacrificing
objective
your
of life is to live.
I would say that could be perceived as a notion of observation. Doesn't have to be that way.
So if we all die, then there was no objective to life because it's done at that point. The objective of life is to live. Now, how we live is based upon morality, um, region, etc. But the truly purpose of life is to live, and anything that is against living
Would
would
be what?
be
Immoral, or is that our perspective of it?
no, it would
But it
just be.
could exactly. It would just be. And if and is not being but equal to all other being? Who are we to decide? Who am I to decide, at least?
But how? But no, no, no. How is your decisions weighed upon myself? How can you make a decision and I'm supposed to be affected by your decision? Things that you made solely moral or immoral by your standard. How am I weighing that on myself?
Ah, well, that is but a choice that you must make yourself. Now, because and Vamsy has her hand up, so I want her to jump in too. You,
Oh, it
you,
shows her as a listen.
yeah, you had said something before about right, like your ability to make that choice is your free will, and like if that is by your definition of what you say free will is to you, then I completely agree because it also depends on exactly how you define what would be that free will. But if I also said, okay, draw a circle around Devon, right? And so Devon, you'll never leave the circle that I drew around you, and you will always think that you knew everything that existed in and out of the circle, but you lived your life always in the circle, and you were happy in the circle, right? I mean, you never really thought most anything twice about it. Um, is that free will, or is that just choices that you're making based off of the scenarios that have been placed observationally in front of you as a belief? And
Is
with
it
that,
free
I'm
will?
gonna
Oh,
I'm gonna
go
let
ahead.
Vamsy jump in afterwards. But go ahead, finish.
No, I was just gonna say, is it free will if the decisions that you make, I have to account or atone for them myself and have them on my plate? Is that truly free will?
That's an interesting question itself. I think, and maybe I'll dive it deeper into it in a second. Sorry, Vamsy, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you, Death Ranger, and that the answer to Devon's question about free will is that it's both. I heard a very simple, kind of eloquent way of describing it. For example, if it's already predetermined that you're going to, say, live in one city first and move to another city next, um, that's already set, but the way you get there is left to you. That's the free will part. So I think there are a lot of facets of our life that are somewhat predetermined, yet there's parts in between that we decide upon. I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an easier way to say it.
No, that is, yeah, and I would completely agree with that, exactly. And then it really comes down to like that question of like, if you define that as free will, then that's perfectly acceptable as your free will. But there's as you acknowledge, there's like this underlying factor that there are all of these other kind of possible interactions that are occurring in which I don't have control over, which alter my you know my perspective in which as an observer.
Wait, Ramsey, I kind of rugged. Did you say that it's already predetermined certain outcomes? Did you say that?
I think that well, this gets complicated, and I don't know how Death Ranger feels about this, but if there are multiple timelines running at the same time and we're able to slip back and forth if you want to between different timelines, and that's where a lot of the choice is, but again, there's certain things already set in place and you decide between them. You do have free will to a certain extent, but there's a lot of things predetermined for you because you set those for yourself
Oh, I love
in
it.
this timeline.
Time travel becomes less of time travel and becomes more of space being in space as you want to be.
Okay, so okay. Free will is absolute. It is not limited. So if you tell me that I have free will up until a certain extent, then my free will is limited, which means I don't have free will. Either I have it or I don't. I can't be partially free. Either I'm free or I'm not. So how do we wrestle with that issue right there?
I'd argue you don't possess complete free will if you're going to frame it in that way. You're programmed to die from the minute you are created, and that's at a cellular level. Like if something doesn't kill you, you will kill yourself. Like you're programmed to die at a set point in time down the line. And that's why when it's your time, it's your time. But that's like when you look at it from biological perspective as well. Like things like apoptosis exist for a reason. Like you're created to die. And it's how you spend the time during. So you exercise free will in the gap in between.
Hold on,
And
Cookie. So if you're saying that, is it already predetermined that we in this room will live forever? If that's where we're going as society?
I think it's predetermined that we will increase our longevity. Living forever, I think, is a tough one to wrestle with. Like, on what plane, and
Well,
are we
it
talking?
kind of debunks the natural progression of living within 100 years, though. If they're able to do the life escape velocity or however you put it, and now they're projecting us to live potentially into the hundreds, thousands. Like, so there really is no expiration date that they can put on that. So that
I,
really does
I,
debunk that.
I just had a
well, it's still finite.
wild question come in my head.
But
Go ahead, Cookie. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, even if you just progress out, when you consider the timescales that we live in versus geological timescales or like planetary timescales they're infinitesimal, they're tiny. So taking there are precedents for it in the animal kingdom. You've got trees that hundreds, if not thousands, of years old, and you've got, they found the Greenland shark, didn't they, the other day, and it was hundreds of years old. So there are prerequisites. So that you do have precedents in nature for longevity, but just because you are here for longer, it doesn't necessarily change the fact that there is an expiration date, even on those long-living animals. So yes, you may see humans living for hundreds of years down the line, but they will likely have an expiration date. And again, it's back to where the point I was making is the free will that Devon talks about is the free will that you exercise on an individual level during that time. Whether or not, my point is whether or not it has any overall impact on the end outcome, I'm not so sure. I think there's too many external factors that can impact you and your own within that time frame.
I also heard something really interesting. I don't know how much validity it has, but each of us has 7 exit points in our life, kind of correlated to chakra system. And when we are done doing what we need to do, we can kind of choose that exit. And you can even extend that if you have yet to complete um, certain tasks in this life. Who knows? It's an interesting theory.
That is an interesting theory. I definitely think about energetic openings or singularities, helping us approach these different heightened senses of the awareness of the frequencies that we're emitting. So I definitely think there's definitely some truth right there. you know, we got another space we're rolling over into. Vet is about to host a space starting at 5 o'clock. We're going to be talking about some ZK proofs that are going to be coming to the XRP ledger, allowing for some privacy aspect to exist there. But I did want to end off with this one question, and it's actually something that just popped up in my head, Cookie, because it was like a wild implication actually of a question between your and Shellfish's comment, and it's thought of the way that we perceive ourselves to be as an identity is personified based off of the relevance that we have in situations to past data that we have accumulated and has allowed to compound into what we would believe to be a physical synaptics connection, from the brain down to the spinal cord stem into the gut, wherever it may be that connection lies in concept of being able to create relevance to comprehension, but nonetheless compounds over time into what is this personification of identity. And this interesting then question comes down to it, speaking about living forever. Of course, I think then the question also is what even is forever? I mean, seems like a wild amount of time when you start talking about millennia, and then even past millennia. I mean, like, even in the shows, nobody ever is like, yeah, I'm older than a millennia or something like that, because I think it also then becomes down to this thought of like, imagine living like what would be inherently perceived to be as a dull life, right? Or observationally, um, going through the same circumstances over and over again for a millennia, possibly could be looked at as something what would be eventually dull, in some sense. And I wonder, to some sense, of like, if in a being living that long, would there even be a point felt to be still there? And what would that be? What would that morph into if there was still some sort of possible relevance? And yeah, with that thought, I love you guys. This was a great conversation today, and hope to see everybody in the next space we're going to roll over into.
Thanks,
Not
man.
everybody. Thank you for joining, everybody.